Seconds. And we're good.
All right, just to get reacquainted, since we haven't been together in over a year, I guess. Ron LaRose, I believe I'm the chairman.
Yep, you are. Ian Albinson.
Carol Wells. Trying to fix my camera here.
Ben Scalosdra?
We'll stick with Ben, that's easier.
Yeah, I'll go with Ben.
All right, I thank you all for making it, and we've got 2 items on the agenda. We have a rep for number 22052, Hendy Properties. They're requesting the building permit to modify the front of the building. Why don't we go with Mr. Hendy, Hendy, you describe what's going to take place.
Here,
gonna
Patrick,
Come on up.
Yeah, take a seat at the front, just so the camera can get you.
But the modification is removing the breezeway to the salon, which gets back the old building front. And and I'd like to cap the concrete with a boardwalk. Goes down through there.
Are you also going to remove that petition?
Yes, and yeah, remove that petition.
Okay.
So these are on the screen for folks. I'm just trying to bring up probably the best picture I had of this. So when he talks about removing the breezeway, it's this brown section here on the western side of the building on the front. Here you can see it here. And
Right there, we'll go back.
Oops.
You can see the petition, that white right over the top of that blue car.
Yeah, between the bar and the.
yeah, it's right here.
Yeah.
And in covering this concrete with a boardwalk, the concrete walkway, the whole length of it. Is that correct, Pat?
Yes.
So will the board walkway cover the entire concrete walkway? From
Not
building to
the
curb?
public part, not the
Right, but
Right.
from the building
out.
to the curb of
Yes,
of your walkway.
yeah. And I'll get the steps back in, add a step there and a step right there in the entrance to the apartment. And what that does, it gets it so make it handicap access right through to the bar.
From the west to the east.
Yes. So wheelchair can pass through.
Let's bring the other one real quick.
Is that right now have a ramp, or does that concrete walkway go right flush to the ground?
Off there, from the west end, it's the sidewalk and it starts right there. So I'd only checked it with an eye level, but if you take an eye level from there, it comes in the threshold going into the bar, it comes in about 3.5 to 4 inches change. So what I'll do is pick that 4 inches up and get through the entrance to the apartments, then it'll pitch slightly to the existing. So in that,
Down to
Get-
0.
yeah, and it gets it to handicap access within the 1 and 20.
Yeah.
So you come right in, enter, so flow right in.
You mentioned wood flooring.
Yeah.
What's the material?
Well, I'm undecided. It's gonna be framed and pressure treated, and the thought was either pressure treated, but Chris and I have been talking, I thought about white oak because it's more traditional. But she thought of some other woods, but I'd like a wood boardwalk versus synthetic type.
Composite.
Yeah, composite.
Right, because it's all gonna be open to the elements.
Yeah.
Whereas part of it isn't now.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and so, it's undercover, I think the oak will stand up just fine there, and it'll have just a metal angle edge, just so that if the snow plow's coming down through, it doesn't catch any wood. But it's not gonna be protruding, but never know.
You're not going to be protruding beyond the
Existing.
wall of your existing walkway.
Right, no, but I'll still put a metal edge on it just because.
Are you replacing some of the posts that are along there? Do you
Uh,
replace or?
I'll have to look at them at the time, but I don't think they need, I think Ivan has changed some of them posts down
Okay.
through there.
Pull a photo back up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One closer up one.
That was good, I think.
So those are pressure treated, those have been changed, the other, he made them a little more like the original, I think he
Are you, you're gonna have exposed exterior wall of the salon? What's that gonna be?
it's existing, it's gonna have the old front back.
So that's never been changed.
No,
Okay.
no,
It's
so,
just been covered over with the alcove.
yeah, but not, if you step in the salon, it's the old buildings there.
Right. Okay.
So the exterior, the whole exterior of that first floor of that building is going back to what it originally was. And
Right.
we won't see any change.
No, it'll go back to the original, except for the
Unless
paint.
you paint it or something.
Yeah, painting, yeah, to match or to be the same. And that's the old, gets the old front back.
So when you pour, are you replacing, you're pouring on top of the concrete?
No, I'm not gonna pour, it's
Or
gonna be
you're-
wood with
Oh, it's
sleepers.
wood. Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Which is actually, when Pat and I first met, we were talking about this, we actually did we found a picture. What was it, early 1900s?
It had a boardwalk.
Yeah, actually
originally.
had a boardwalk sidewalk there. It's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. And that concrete's probably been there since what, World War II probably?
Long time,
Yeah,
well before we had it.
yeah.
Okay. By putting in the boardwalk, does it change how you would enter via the steps?
No,
Height
the only thing I'm
and-
gonna end up adding a step.
Okay. Is that both for the South Mountain Tavern?
Yeah,
and-
South Mountain, and this
and
one here
for-
will have step entered, added.
So how thick will this boardwalk be?
Probably 1 inch or 5/4, something like that. Board. I mean, typically pressure trees are 5/4, but it measured actually about 1 inch, but,
Right.
Pre-mill.
Okay.
Carol,
Is that
any questions?
Is that facade providing any structural support to the balcony above it?
what's that?
Is the facade of the part you're
The-
taking down, the
Oh,
porch?
no, that's just, those just walls, they were built in between, the post.
When that
So
comes.
posts were there first.
You'll expose the existing upright post.
Yeah, so I'm not taking the post down. I actually may add to them so they match the upper. The upper, I think, I don't know if those are 6x6 or 4x4 with wood put around them because it's pieced around and but they're pieced together. I think Ivan did those.
You have any questions, Ben?
Yeah, just one about the material choice for the wood boardwalk. Was there any consideration for matching what you're doing on the balcony side too? I know that that's wood now, or the new sort of
That's pressure
extension.
treated. It's pressure
Yeah.
treated. I did that because it was more reasonably priced, and there was a thought of Trex. But I don't think I want, I mean, if I think the oak or something else will stand up just fine out there undercover. And I can put the pressure treated down, but it's not as good as it used to be. I'd rather have a white oak or something like that. Maybe a white board.
That seems reasonable. I was just thinking from aesthetically, since that's new as well. But yeah, I think
But
that's
it's not tied to it,
right. It's not
And-
physically connected, so yeah.
right? And this is probably had an oak boardwalk 100 years ago.
And those should weather at about the same rate as far as graying.
Yeah,
And then my other question is, I've never been in the salon, so I'm not totally sure, but is removing that exterior portion, like, that doesn't change like the occupancy of the building or anything, right? Like, it's not an
No.
actual extension of the building. It's
no,
just
it was more of a dump area, if you will.
Strictly an entranceway.
Yeah,
Okay. That was all I had.
place undercover, extra
Yeah.
stuff.
We have any other questions?
It was probably put on to keep cold air from blowing in on the
Could be.
the people
Yeah.
getting their hair done.
Yeah, I am gonna put, if you walk in the salon, it's got tile, then it's got the wood floor, I am gonna put a divider there. But it'll probably be open topped. So it'll just be lower windbreak, but
Internally.
internally, yeah. And that's just more for. There's a place for coat rack, and I don't even know they got a coat, they just hang coats anyways, but I'll give it.
If it
Little bit.
changes drastically, he'll hear from his tenant.
Right,
Right.
but I did,
Thicker- thicker coats.
when I first acquired the building, I did let her know that I was gonna be doing that at some point, taking that off.
Okay.
So she's aware of it,
What's
and I
the-
talked to her recently.
What's the condition of the interior walls, which will become the exterior walls?
They're painted, they're all good shape, a lot of window.
Yeah. I mean, I would think that would be,
It's
Better.
what was
For
there
someone,
before.
yeah.
Are they similar to this one, Pat?
I think almost the same size.
yeah. It would be like,
They're-
we've been hidden all this time.
Well, on the restaurant side, to the right of the door, that was changed to a.
This is
open-
actually probably pretty close, scale. Of
Let's
it.
see if I can get that.
This is glass, you look at that, and it's like a beadboard down
Yeah.
below, wainscoting like. So if you wanna look at that better,
Is that this one?
that may be a copy, that didn't come out quite so clear.
Yeah, when I scanned it, I lost it a little bit.
Yeah, but you can see, it's got like a beadboard, it's
Yeah.
all painted
Yeah.
in glasses.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think it brings the building back
I think,
to what it used to be. I guess my only concern would just be the steps up, but if you said you've looked at that.
No, I
just
looked
so
at
it's
that.
Not like an odd size step.
No,
Or
it's-
an
yeah,
out of
it's
whack
good.
step in terms of regulation.
no,
But because you're changing two, you're
Yeah.
changing the south.
yeah, the first one,
and-
the first
and the
entrance is easier. The second one works fine and still allows for. About 5 feet for swinging a wheelchair.
Okay. Yeah, and obviously it accomplishes, to
Yeah.
make it accessible.
So. Making this handicap accessible to the restaurant, so you gotta put a ramp in front of the restaurant entrance then.
Do I?
That's a step right now.
Well, yeah, no, the ramp, the boardwalk will,
Be,
but
be at the level of the current door threshold.
Oh, okay, all right, that's how you're gonna end up with
Yeah.
another step. Going from the sidewalk straight in. Okay, gotcha.
yeah, so from here. Level, it comes in like that close and I'll raise it to. And if you look at that sill, it's been changed and it actually tips back, so change it so it even leans forward, so I can, in about 3 inches, if I raise that. About that level, I only got a 3-inch drop approximately. After the door going into the apartments. To the sidewalk. So, and it's like
Because that
close to
is-
18
is-
feet, so 3 inches real well within the 1 and 20.
Yeah.
And within the 1 and 12, so I don't need a handrail.
Well, because Pat, when we talked, it's gonna end up right here, right? At roughly the boardwalk at the threshold of the.
Right,
of the
right,
Top step here.
Right, right now it comes in eye level, just probably about the top of that step that sits, that black one there, comes in right about there. And so all I gotta do is get up to there, and that threshold actually tips back slightly, so just reset it with a little pitch. But even then, the only reason I do that just to gain a little.
So how far are you coming out? Are you going around the post?
Yeah, I'll come out to the face of the concrete.
And then you're.
and
obviously matching
I'll-
the lines.
Yeah, and I'll
Okay.
probably put something there and parge it, so it gives it the look, parge it with concrete, so it looks.
So you're gonna be changing that first really small step?
Right, yeah, so I'll split that up
Yeah,
properly.
yeah.
You got this all.
Yeah, it's got an odd, I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, and it's,
It has
if you
an
look at it,
odd
it's
side
settled,
setting.
it's
It's
settled,
improved, yeah.
it's settled,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
okay.
If you were that old, you'd be settling too.
Plus, I think at some point there's if you look at the chair on the left, that's new concrete, somebody had pulled something from there, back a while ago,
Yeah, interesting. Okay,
tank probably, something.
okay.
Any other questions? All right, you've heard the description of this project. I entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the application as described this evening.
Your second,
I'll second.
motion made second. We accept zoning permit 22-052 as presented to us, with no modifications to it. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Guess not. Thank you. Take care of that.
All right. And,
I'll take care of the paperwork this week for you.
all right. Thanks again.
What's your timeline? Obviously, it's getting a bit nippy now.
Well, it's all, it doesn't change the construction part of it, because there's no, it's sleepers or whatever all on top of. So,
Whether you want to be out there, so
do that or hanging out and fighting with my wife. We're not fighting with her, but irritating her,
Discussing.
irritating her.
good. All right.
Good.
Oh, this is the next one we're doing.
Is there gonna be a rep here?
So, yeah, I can, if I need to, I can officially be the rep. The town of Bristol is the applicant. You're
We're
all,
all set.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
and so that to ensure that Ian can vote, I can present as much as need be and provide clarification. That would make, I think, just from a,
Yeah,
Okay, why don't
yeah, I
you
can talk about
give
it.
us a one over the world description of,
you gotta open.
this is zoning permit 22-053. Requesting to install a bus shelter over on the southerly side of, Rite Aid, Walgreens, excuse me. Chris?
Yeah, so I'm looking for one more picture I had here, which I don't see. I'll find it in a second. In front of Walgreens right now, let me get back to Zoom. I apologize, folks. I do this all the time. In front of Walgreens, there was a couple bollards that were removed this summer, and there's a big open piece of dirt that we've probably all seen. That's the location for this upcoming bus shelter that we're discussing. They'll pour a concrete pad there, if I remember right, Ian, is that with a base new concrete, and then the shelters were prefabbed from a group over in Williston, Waitsfield. And the town actually acquired a couple of these, and they need a little TLC, but that was done. They look great now. They're ready to rock and roll. Those are the photos we'll bounce through right now. Get back to here, so share.
This was a Tri-Valley Transit and V-Trans pilot project. It was to create more placemaking style bus shelters. And if by chance they had these available at the same time when the ARPA committee was meeting, one of the things that came out of that people really were looking for and that the public suggested were bus shelters. And so they happened to contact us and contact the town and say, hey, we've got this project, would Bristol be interested? There were originally 3. We ended up choosing 2 of them that we felt were more would be able to work better in the community. This is one of them, and then there was one potentially on the park, and I'm still working on that. So it's different than what their normal other bus shelters were. Mostly they're metal and glass, usually custom fabricated for a pretty high price. These were built over in Waitsfield by a different group, but again, it's sort of different materials. And we recognized where the different stops would be, which were the higher riderships for the bus stops. The park was the highest, second highest was over by Shaw's. And the current bus stop now is sort of right outside the main door of Shaw's, which isn't ideal because it's, there's a lot of traffic there anyway, people coming in and out. because it's a structure, we wanted to move it a little bit further down. And because Walgreens has that very large facade where nothing is sitting, and it used to be, I guess, an entrance, a door entrance, which is why the bollards were there. We sort of recognize that as a good place to put it.
So just for some orientation on the screen right now, the big white square is Shaw's. The smaller rectangle one just below it, that is the Rite Aid, Walgreens. What I just did myself. And the red dot, the red rectangle you see here is the location that we're talking about.
Question,
Mhm.
where that is, isn't that about where that door is, or is the door on the black?
Yeah.
It's on the black roof
Okay.
section.
It got moved many, many years ago. I
Okay.
guess.
Yeah, when they put the addition on, they actually moved it. That used to be the delivery door there. That's why the
Yeah.
bollards were there.
Yeah.
And it got moved when they added the addition.
Now, will that spot, does that mean the bus for picking up and discharging passengers, is it gotta have a spot to park?
No, as most of them just park as close as they can to the bus stop or pull down further. There is that area where there is no parking, sort of between Walgreens and between Shaw's. So they'll probably park near there and you would walk from the bus stop to get on the bus.
Which is normally occupied.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's an awkward space, unfortunately, but this was sort of the best location for this. It wasn't close to the door that you just described, and it wasn't too far away.
It's, so the town is taking this on private property.
Yes, Mr. Pomelo Real Estate owns the actual property.
Yeah.
And Ian was in contact with them and they are in full support behind the
Yeah.
project.
Yeah, I met with their facilities person that manages the one property here. They were very receptive. They obviously own a lot of property in Vermont, which many of them have bus shelters on them, so they were very accommodating to that. They gave me, when they saw initially it was a different design, which is what was in the original packet that Chris sent out. When they saw that, they had some concerns. We had this other one that they liked more and felt it was a bit more suitable for the location. It needed a little bit of work, which has been done. This is the updated version. And one of the stipulations of this project was that these need to be ADA accessible. And so what they've dug out over by Walgreens, it'll be sort of set down and they'll asphalt up around to it. So you'll be able to roll on if you're in a wheelchair, roll into this area.
So that picture right there is on a wooden platform,
Correct.
but we're gonna put it on a concrete slab.
No, the platform will stay. That'll just be down in the ground. And I don't know if they're going to.
There'll be a foundation.
Well,
slab.
I'm not sure. It doesn't require one because of the construction of this. It's all pressure treated wood. And so these units don't require them. They can just sit on dirt. I'm not sure what Armelo is going to do. They've dug it out. I haven't seen any concrete there. I don't know if they're waiting for us to get the approval. It might just sit on dirt and then they're going to asphalt around it. And that area needed asphalt work anyway.
Oh, God, yes.
So they were happy to sort of take that out, take the bollards out, and then put this in an
Well,
asphalt too.
if the wood, even pressure treated stays, it still has only a certain amount of life.
Correct.
If it sits on dirt, there's gonna be something on the corners to stabilize it and level it. There should be some kind of drainage or for it to breathe under there so it dries itself out for longevity. If it sits on concrete and well, same thing, you still gotta let it breathe under it, and wherever it sits, as I understood you to say, there's gonna be an asphalt ramp.
Correct. But very, very slow. They're trying to get it as level as possible with the asphalt that's there, and then we'll sort of curve up to it a little bit. Not enough to pose a problem if you are in a wheelchair to be able to get onto the platform.
Okay. Makes sense to me. I looked at the site. I know where the dirt that you're referring to is. I think it's very nice.
Yeah, we'll see. And again, you spoke of longevity, and we had concerns about that too. This is going to be managed by Tri-Valley Transit. It's their responsibility. It's their responsibility to service them as well. And so at the moment, it's yes to
fixed agreement.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, so they've agreed to do that. So we wanted to sort of champion this in Bristol because we actually have no bus shelters here for a lot of the stops, and this is a popular area. So we thought this was a good fit, but we are mindful of how long these might last. And it's a new thing for them too. And I'm sure that they don't want to take on more work than they have to, but I think it's a good thing to support. But yeah, if it gets to the point where they're unable to take care of it for whatever reason, then they'll remove it, or work with the town and Farmelo to make it happen.
Any questions of Carol or Ben?
Yeah, I have a question. What do they anticipate the shelves being used for?
Originally it was sort of like we call this the art design. There was more sort of art to it, and then you would maybe put books there, things like that. It's Yes Tomorrow Design Build School, so it's sort of more student designing and building, and so it's different than what a normal bus shelter would be.
Yeah.
But you can put anything there. Your groceries, maybe, depending on how.
I don't know. It just seems like it might be more functional to put another bench section there instead of the shelves.
Yeah.
And it may end up that way, because the other concern I had with when we were looking at these designs is flat surfaces gather crap. So if it becomes a problem, I see it is those shelves could be removed in a bench, an additional bench could be added.
But what you've got is what we're looking at.
Yep.
This is the way it came from some other place.
Yeah.
Nothing you requested to be designed this way. You grabbed it as
It
it was.
it was slightly different there. Unfortunately, because it sat for a while, some of the materials and methods that were used didn't hold up for mostly water damage. There was plywood that was chosen that wasn't sealed, and so it started to delaminate. And so what you see with the new material with the holes in, that was all new. There was sort of plywood that was there, and more sort of painted pieces that started to delaminate. So Yes Tomorrow came and fixed it in place where it sits over at Bristol Works, and that's the new updated version. But I'm sure that Tri-Valley Transit, we could work with them once it starts being used, hopefully. And if we do discover issues, or if people have comments or questions, I'm sure that they would be willing to update it.
I don't see where we would balk at this going in, but common sense tells me who's gonna put what on those shelves. And right now, I'd say keep the top one, maybe two, to just brace the uprights and take the others out and extend the bench across there for more sitting. But anyhow.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's one of those really wait and see. I
Conversation piece.
It will be, and I think, I mean, just with the activity, it is high visible as it is. That's the other nice part about it, is if it starts to become an eyesore, oh, the phone will ring.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about that. Yeah. And we're all by enough that we'd be like, we got to figure out something different.
exactly.
More possessive.
Ben, any comments, questions?
I mean, I think it's a great idea. I think it looks nice. I think it's a good spot. I think it'll fit. I think you've already mentioned that you talked to the owner, but I'm looking at Google Maps right now about where it is and where the door entrance is. And I know we talked about that. It's not a concern in terms of the loading entrance. And just that area is so awkward. Like, I know there's that area where you should be able to drive between, right? And I would imagine that's where like a Walgreens truck or something would be to I guess just as long as we're certain that Walgreens or they don't have any concerns with truck access for like parking their truck in a certain way or having to back out a certain way to make sure they can get out. That was just my only concern, is from like a traffic flow standpoint. Otherwise, I think it's a great idea and it looks nice.
So one thing, I have been in contact with Walgreens quite a bit in the last 6 months or more. They used to load and unload at that door, and as we all know, that when they backed the truck in, it literally cut the parking lot off. You couldn't get by.
Yep.
What they do now is, as you know, they back in as tight as they can along the front of the building here. And it still pinches this, but you can get by the trucks now. So they load and unload in the front and literally wheel it in. They don't have a loading ramp. There was all manual, no matter how they do it. So Walgreens doesn't seem to. When I talked to the manager, she seemed.
Yeah, I had noticed that I hadn't seen the truck.
So everything goes in through the front door.
Yeah, that they actually had a bunch of water damage at that rear door that actually delaminated the actual floor in that storage area last year. It's not me. Oh,
Okay, yeah, and when we looked at it, it's not too large that even if they decided to begin to use that door again, it wouldn't pose an issue. There's enough space there.
Okay, yeah, that was really my only thing, is just that, and we can't really get around the other thing about where the bus would have to double park cars there. I mean, it is what it is. You can't get around that. I mean, the bus isn't gonna, hang out there for too long. I can't imagine. And they're already doing it, like you said, parking in front of the front entrance of Shaw's.
Exactly.
So what material difference does it make? I think it's fine.
Yeah, we tried to push it as close left as possible, right next to that little mulch / flower
Grass
bed,
area, yeah.
sort of tuck right in there.
And the other one too is the people flow, especially when the weather's poor, it gets very congested right around the door with the folks waiting for the bus.
Yeah.
So by being able to move people over 20 feet or 40 feet, whatever that is, I think it'll just change the flow of foot traffic in and out of the store better for all.
Yeah.
Other questions, observations, comments? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion on the zoning permit 22-053, installing a bus shelter on the south side of the Walgreens building.
I'll make a motion on permit 23-053 bus shelter application, that we accept it as is, approve it as is.
I hear second.
I'll second.
Motion made and second. We accept the zoning permit as presented 22-053 on installing a bus shelter on the south face of Walgreens. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Carried. Is now the town, if I understand, the town is picking up the tab. I'm putting this, buying it, maybe.
It was free.
Okay.
Both structures were free.
Price is right.
Exactly. And then there is ARPA money that would be used to support the moving of the structure, probably with a truck and crane.
Is it
to its
in town?
location?
Yeah.
It's over at Bristol Works. Both of them sit over there, sort of tucked near the police station, just because Kevin had room. They sat up in Waitsville for quite a while. So they're down here now, and then so there's a little bit of ARPA money, maybe a few thousand would be used to move it into place.
And the base foundation is to be put in by.
Parmala. They're handling that.
Okay.
And I've let them know that, we have ARPA funds to support that if needed. It seems like at the moment they're handling that themselves. They already moved ahead and took out the bollards that were there and moved that. It's been a little bit of a slow process, unfortunately. But now it's with this permit approved, I move ahead and I finish off the Act 250 amendment. I'm doing that for some reason. And so I have what I need for that. I send that through. Apparently it's fairly easy to amend, just to be able to put that unit in there. And then hopefully everything gets approved and they're able to put it in.
Okay. And then once foundation's in place, it's moved from its present location to it.
Yeah.
And then transportation organization assumes responsibility at that point.
Yeah, and we have, like you said, a signed document regarding.
All understand that?
Clear.
Good,
Awesome.
because I couldn't explain it any better than that. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate 4 of 7 showing up. Yes, I think someone was late, but we won't get into that. Just a comment, like I said, I don't think we've met in over a year. And when Chris calls us up, it's kind of like a slap side of the head. Oh, I am on that committee. So if it comes up, if you have a conflict, say no, don't say maybe, because with 7, we need 4. So we definitely need 4 yeses, and the other 3 can be maybes and no, but we definitely need 4 goals in order to hold this meeting. It's not like sitting here next to an applicant, and I apologize for being late, and I thought I was gonna have to apologize for not being able to hold an official meeting, but Carol saved me from that. So just be cognizant of that, and next time, this comes up, look at your calendar before you commit and say yes or no. Nothing in between. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Understood. Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.